The easiest person to control is not always the weakest person. It is often the person who is completely certain they cannot be manipulated. Certainty feels powerful. It makes people speak quickly, defend their first reaction, trust their assumptions, ignore warning signs. But once that certainty cracks, something changes. They hesitate. They overthink. They begin searching for reassurance. And without realizing it, they may start following the calmest voice in the room. Machiavelli understood that influence does not always look like force. It does not always arrive through threats, shouting, or obvious pressure. Sometimes it arrives through a question, a pause, a change in framing, a sudden contradiction, a deadline that did not need to exist, a silence designed to make you uncomfortable enough to speak before you are ready. The real danger is not that these tactics exist. The real danger is failing to notice them while they are shaping your decisions. In this video, you will learn 7 psychological tactics that can make people question themselves. Not so you can manipulate others. So you can recognize manipulation when it is used against you, so you can protect your judgment, so you can remain clear when someone else benefits from your confusion. Stay until number 7, because the final tactic is the one most people use against themselves without anyone else needing to help. Number 1, they make you doubt what you already know. A confident person is difficult to move. A doubtful person often moves themselves. That is why manipulative influence frequently begins with uncertainty. Not enough uncertainty to look like an attack, just enough to make you question your own judgment. You say, "I know what happened." They respond, "Are you sure that is how it happened?" You say, "That comment was disrespectful." They answer, "You are probably being too sensitive." You say, "I remember what you promised." They say, "That is not what I meant." You always misunderstand things. One question may be harmless, but repeated doubt can create a pattern. Over time, you stop asking whether their explanation makes sense. You start asking whether your own mind can be trusted. That is where the danger begins. Psychologically, people experience discomfort when 2 conflicting ideas exist at once. You believe you are observant, but someone keeps telling you that your memory is wrong. You believe you are rational, but someone repeatedly calls you emotional. You believe a boundary was crossed, but they insist nothing happened. The mind wants relief from that conflict. And sometimes the fastest relief is surrendering your own interpretation. Machiavelli understood the power of perception. If someone controls how an event is interpreted, they may not need to control the event itself. The defense is not stubbornness. Blind certainty is also dangerous. The defense is evidence. Pause and ask, what facts support my interpretation? Is this person offering new information or only undermining my confidence? Does their version change every time I ask for clarity? Do I feel confused because the situation is complex, or because someone keeps moving the meaning? A disciplined mind can admit error, but it does not abandon itself merely because another person sounds calm. Healthy correction gives you clarity. Manipulation leaves you increasingly dependent on the manipulator's version of reality. Remember this: a fair question helps you think. A manipulative question makes you afraid to trust your own thinking. Number 2, they press on identity instead of logic. Most people believe they make decisions from facts. Often they make decisions from identity. They want to see themselves as strong, kind, independent, intelligent, loyal, generous, rational. And because identity matters so much, it becomes a pressure point. Someone does not need to prove that their request is reasonable. They only need to connect refusal with a version of yourself you do not want to become. If you were really loyal, you would do this. A strong person would not be bothered. You always say you are independent, so why are you afraid? I thought you were more generous than that. Now the decision is no longer only about the request. It is about defending your self-image. That is how identity pressure works. Machiavelli understood that people are often moved less by truth than by what truth threatens. A fact that challenges pride may be rejected. A lie that protects identity may be defended. This is why some of the strongest influence happens before the actual argument begins. The person defines what your answer means. If you agree, you are loyal. If you refuse, you are selfish. If you stay, you are strong. If you leave, you are weak. That frame forces you to choose between the action they want and the identity you want to protect. The defense is simple but not easy. Separate the decision from the label. Ask, would I still choose this if nobody judged me? Is this action right, or does it only help me preserve an image? Why does this person need to define my character before I decide? You can be kind and still say no, independent and still ask for help, strong and still leave, loyal and still refuse to support destructive behavior. Identity should guide your decisions. It should not imprison them. The person who understands what they are trying to prove becomes harder to control through flattery, shame, or challenge. Number 3, they create urgency so you cannot think. Pressure changes judgment. That is why manipulation often arrives with a clock. You need to decide now. This is your last chance. If you leave, the opportunity is gone. Answer me right now. Why do you need time unless you are hiding something? Urgency narrows attention. Instead of asking whether the decision is good, you start asking how quickly you can escape the pressure. That difference matters. Under emotional stress, people often choose what reduces tension immediately, not what protects them later. A rushed agreement can feel like relief. A rushed apology can end an argument. A rushed purchase can remove fear of missing out. A rushed confession can relieve silence. But relief is not the same as a good decision. Machiavelli understood timing. A person who controls the timing of a decision may gain more power than the person who controls the facts. This does not mean every deadline is manipulative. Real deadlines exist. Emergencies exist. Opportunities can close. The question is whether the urgency belongs to reality or to the person applying pressure. Ask, what changes if I wait 10 minutes? What happens if I sleep on this? Why does this decision become unacceptable if I think carefully? Who benefits from me deciding before I am calm? One of the strongest sentences you can use is, I do not make important decisions under pressure. Another is, I will give you an answer after I have thought about it. A healthy person may dislike the delay, but they can respect it. A manipulative person often increases the pressure because the pressure is the tactic. When someone needs you to decide before you can think, the decision deserves more thought, not less. Number 4, they use silence to make you reveal too much. Silence is not always peaceful. Sometimes it is pressure. You answer a question. They say nothing. You set a boundary. They stare at you. You explain your decision. They remain quiet. The pause feels uncomfortable, so you keep speaking. You add details, then justifications, then apologies, then information you never intended to share. By the time the silence ends, you have weakened your own position. Human beings naturally want closure. An unresolved pause can feel like rejection, judgment, or conflict. That discomfort creates an urge to fill the space. And nervous people often reveal more than calm people ever needed to ask. This is why silence can be useful in negotiation, interviews, arguments, and manipulation. The person who cannot tolerate the pause may speak until they expose their fear, their urgency, their insecurity, their priorities, their willingness to compromise. The defense is not to fear silence. It is to stop treating silence as a command. After you answer, stop. Let the pause belong to both of you. Do not explain a boundary simply because someone refuses to react. Do not confess more because they look disappointed. Do not bargain against yourself because the room became quiet. You can say, that is my answer, or I have nothing else to add. Then wait. Silence only controls you when you believe you are responsible for ending it. Machiavelli valued restraint because revealing too much makes a person readable. The lesson is not to become secretive. It is to stop giving away information merely to reduce discomfort. The person who can remain calm in silence protects both judgment and dignity. Number 5. They disrupt your expectations to keep you off balance. The brain relies on patterns. It predicts what comes next. When behavior is consistent, the mind relaxes. When behavior suddenly changes, attention rises. That is why unpredictable treatment can be so psychologically powerful. Someone is warm one day, available when you withdraw. Cold the next, distant when you move closer. They praise you, they create closeness, then criticize you, then remove it without explanation. Now your attention shifts. You stop evaluating the relationship. You start trying to restore the pattern. What changed? What did I do? How do I get the old version back? This is how unpredictability can create fixation. The uncertainty itself becomes the hook. Manipulative people may use inconsistent attention, affection, approval, or access. Because unpredictable rewards keep people engaged, you begin working harder for a response that was once freely given. The defense is to study the pattern over time. Do not judge the relationship by its highest moments. Judge it by its consistency. Ask, does this person create stability or make me chase it? Do their actions match their words across time? Am I focused on what is healthy or on recovering the version of them I saw at the beginning? Not every mood change is manipulation. People have stress, fatigue, personal struggles. But repeated hot and cold behavior that keeps you anxious, confused, and chasing deserves attention. Machiavelli understood that predictability can create vulnerability, but so can calculated unpredictability. The goal is not to become impossible to read. The goal is to stop being controlled by someone else's changing rhythm. You do not need to chase every withdrawal, explain every shift, repair every silence. Sometimes the strongest response to unstable behavior is stable observation. Number 6. They control the frame before you can defend yourself. Many people lose arguments before they begin, not because they lack facts, because they accept the other person's frame. Someone says, "Why are you being selfish?" You answer, "I am not selfish, Now the conversation is about proving you are not selfish. Their accusation created the battlefield. You stepped onto it. Someone says, "You are too sensitive." You begin defending your emotions. You have changed. You start apologizing for growth. You think you are better than everyone. You explain your standards. The frame determines what the conversation means, and whoever controls the meaning often controls the emotional direction. Machiavelli understood that perception shapes power. The same action can be described as courage or recklessness, boundaries or selfishness, restraint or weakness, growth or betrayal. The defense is reframing. Do not argue inside a definition designed to make you guilty. Say, having a boundary is not selfish. I am not being too sensitive. I am identifying a repeated pattern. Yes, I changed. That was necessary. Standards are not the same as superiority. Now the conversation changes. You are no longer defending the accusation. You are questioning the meaning behind it. This is especially important when projection appears. Someone drains your energy, then calls you distant. They provoke chaos, then call you dramatic. They ignore your limits, then call you controlling. They benefit from your silence, then call your honesty aggressive. Instead of explaining forever, name the pattern. I notice you call it selfish whenever I say no. I notice my boundary becomes a problem only when it limits your access. That is not manipulation, that is clarity. A controlled person separates emotional language from observable behavior. They do not allow a label to become reality simply because it was spoken with confidence. Never fight for innocence inside a frame designed to make you guilty. Change the frame, then return to the facts. Number 7. You reveal too much before trust is earned. This final tactic is different. Sometimes nobody manipulates you directly. You make yourself easier to influence by revealing everything too early. Your fears, your plans, your insecurities, your relationship problems, your ambitions. your need for approval, your emotional triggers. You explain every decision, announce every goal, share every wound. Then you are surprised when someone knows exactly where to pressure you. Openness can create connection, but uncontrolled openness creates exposure. Not everyone who listens deserves access. Not everyone who asks is safe. Not everyone who praises your honesty intends to protect it. Machiavelli understood that strategy weakens when revealed too early. A plan announced before it is stable becomes vulnerable to interference. A fear shared with the wrong person becomes a pressure point. A dream explained to someone who benefits from your old identity may be attacked before it has time to grow. The defense is selective disclosure. This does not mean lying. It does not mean becoming cold. It means allowing trust to develop before access deepens. Ask, has this person earned this information? Will sharing this create support or only exposure? Am I speaking because it is useful or because I feel nervous and want reassurance? Does this person protect what I share or use it later during conflict? You do not need to explain every plan while building it. You do not need to confess every weakness to prove authenticity. You do not need everyone to understand your direction. Some things need privacy before they can become strong. A person with boundaries around information is not mysterious for attention. They are protecting timing, focus, and emotional safety. The less you need immediate understanding, the less easily other people can direct your choices through approval or criticism. Reveal what serves the relationship. Protect what has not yet earned exposure. These 7 tactics are not magic. They are patterns. They appear in relationships, workplaces, families, negotiations, friendships, sales conversations, arguments, and sometimes inside your own thinking. Someone introduces doubt until you stop trusting yourself. They pressure your identity instead of addressing the facts. They create urgency so you cannot think. They use silence until you reveal too much. They become unpredictable so you begin chasing stability. They control the frame before you can examine it. Or you expose every part of yourself before trust has been earned. Machiavelli understood that people are moved by more than logic. They are moved by fear, pride, identity, urgency, perception, uncertainty, and the need for approval. The answer is not becoming colder, it is becoming more conscious. Pause before reacting. Separate identity from decision. Question artificial urgency. Let silence exist. Judge patterns over time. Challenge manipulative frames. Reveal information with intention. The greatest defense against psychological manipulation is not aggression, it is clarity. A manipulative person needs you rushed, confused, ashamed, desperate for reassurance, afraid of silence, uncertain about your own perception. But when you pause, the mechanism becomes visible. And once you can see the mechanism, it loses part of its power. So ask yourself, which of these 7 tactics affects you most easily? Doubt, identity pressure, urgency, silence, unpredictability, framing, or oversharing? Write the number in the comments. Not to perform. To identify the pattern you need to protect yourself from. Remember this. The greatest power is not making other people question themselves. It is staying clear when someone benefits from your confusion.